Welcome to another episode of House of Codes. I'm Chris Ochoa in Government Relations in Washington, D.C. And today, instead of going over budget or legislation, we are going to play a video for you that we shot on Monday, a few days ago. I was asked to speak as part of a panel up on Capitol Hill. ANSI sponsored it, American National Standards Institute, and the subject was 21st century infrastructure and a focus on resiliency. So you'll hear from me my speech on the panel the other day up on the Hill, so I hope you enjoy. All right, well, thank you, Joe and Mary. Pleasure to be here. I'm going to take a couple moments to talk a little bit about ICC, the International Code Council, and what we do, and then I'll get into resiliency and tell you what ICC is doing to help our communities become more resilient. So first off, ICC is a U.S. not-for-profit organization which administers the development and maintenance of 15 model building codes and 8 standards used to construct residential and commercial buildings in the U.S., including schools and hospitals. The ICC is dedicated to all aspects of building safety. That includes fire prevention, plumbing and sanitation, property maintenance, energy efficiency, and resilience. ICC's mission is to provide the highest quality codes, standards, products, and services for all concerned with the safety and performance of the built environment. And building codes set the baseline for the safe design and construction of our homes, schools, and workplaces, providing minimum requirements to adequately safeguard the health, safety, and welfare of our building occupants. So what is resilience? So resilience literally defined is to spring back. It's the power or ability to return to the original form or position, to recover readily from adversity. For a community, resilience is the ability to positively adapt to change. It's about building strength and opportunity in the entire community across all aspects. That's the economy, the society, and the infrastructure. So what's ICC doing right now to help our communities become more resilient? Well, first, ICC helped develop and is a founding partner for the Alliance for National and Community Resilience, or ANCHOR. It was founded a year ago. In ICC's study of resilience, we found that there really was no systematic resiliency toolkit or benchmarking system available to help a community measure its strengths and its vulnerabilities and how a community can improve upon its vulnerabilities. So ANCHOR is developing such a tool right now to support governments, businesses, and people across the country. The Community Resilience Benchmark System, or CRB, is intentionally cross-sector. It's encompassing elements such as communications, housing, water, food distribution, energy, finance, education, public health and safety, and transportation. Communities, businesses, governments, and people can utilize this tool to help them decide where to live, where to invest, where to prioritize, and how to measure progress. Ultimately, ICC and ANCHOR hope that decision-making will be enhanced by this resilience benchmarking process. And in just under a year, ANCHOR already has nearly 30 partners, many that you're familiar with: the United States Resiliency Council, corporations like Dow, Target, Kaiser Permanente. Second, in looking at data, ICC found that we need to encourage states to adopt and enforce the most recent building codes. From some of this data we found, you're familiar, I'm sure almost everyone in this room, with the National Institute of Building Sciences and their 2005 report. It said for every dollar we spend on pre-disaster mitigation, we save $4 on the post-disaster recovery. We're happy to say that report is being updated, and we're very involved in that. We know statistics from places like the LSU Hurricane Center estimated that stronger building codes would have reduced wind damage from Hurricane Katrina by 80%, saving almost $8 billion. And we also know that the number of federal disaster declarations has tripled over the past 20 years from the previous 20, and that the federal cost share for natural disasters is also at an all-time high. So because of data like this and statistics, we've been actively involved in supporting legislation such as the National Mitigation Investment Act. The National Mitigation Investment Act was a bipartisan House bill introduced last session. Its intent is to create a national strategy for investing in pre-disaster mitigation, utilizing a mix of incentives to encourage states and local governments around the nation to build more resiliently in the face of a rising number of costly extreme weather events. Now, the National Mitigation Investment Act would incentivize states to build more resiliently ahead of disasters with additional funding in post-disaster mitigation funds. And it also creates a first-of-its-kind program within FEMA that would provide states and local governments an opportunity to apply for grants to defray the cost of implementing and enforcing strong building codes. The National Mitigation Investment Act hopes to shift the way federal government approaches extreme weather events while saving lives and taxpayer money in the process. So we hope to see the National Mitigation Investment Act reintroduced here in the coming weeks. Third, another important piece to the resilience puzzle we feel is workforce development. We're hearing a lot about it now. And I've talked a little bit about communities bouncing back from natural disasters and the economic challenges. But how do we recover from the mass retirement of skilled construction professionals and safety code officials that's already ongoing? A 2014 survey of code enforcement professionals found that 30% of our code officials are planning to retire by 2019 and a whopping 80% by 2029. So such a mass exodus of public safety officials will certainly have a serious impact on our communities. So ICC has tried to get ahead of the curve on this, and in 2009, we piloted our high school technical training program to offer students in technical schools the opportunity to learn what is required to become a construction professional. ICC's high school technical training program is a flexible education program divided into 4 parts: building, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical. Students completing all the elements of a part, including a final exam, receive a nationally recognized Certificate of Achievement from ICC. We're happy to say since 2011, the high school technical training program has awarded more than 900 certificates to over 800 students in 43 different schools across 9 states. So ICC strongly believes that the high school technical training program is an opportunity to teach our next generation of leaders about how each of them can contribute to the resiliency of the community. So in summary, ICC believes that resiliency starts with a strong foundation. We believe it starts with strong building codes. But to become truly resilient, it takes a multi-pronged approach. It takes a benchmarking system in place so that communities can actually identify their strengths and weaknesses and to improve upon those. We must incentivize states to adopt and enforce the latest model building codes, and we must develop the next generation of the construction workforce. All of these elements are necessary for communities to be truly resilient and to ultimately improve our nation's infrastructure. Thank you.